everybody? It's your 5-star realtor, Joshua Ingram, partnered with Page Properties Team, brokered by EXP. We're on another episode of the brand new podcast called The Dream Builders Podcast. Today we have a unique guest, Donna Williams with D. Williams Consulting, where she repositions future. How you doing today?
Hey, I'm good. How are you feeling?
Man, doing good.
Nice
Welcome
to see you.
aboard. Good to see you as usual.
Thank you for having me.
Listen, and I cannot forget the co-host, Bradford Page with Page Properties.
Joshua? All right. Always fun.
Always. And remember that the Dream Builders Podcast, we're here to help buyers, sellers, agents, and small businesses reach their goals. So, Miss Donna,
Yes.
with D. Williams Consulting, what is the purpose for your consulting business, and how did you get started?
Well, the purpose for D. Williams Consulting, I call it multifaceted, right?
Okay.
We actually support mid-sized small businesses in the realm of professional development, employee engagement, and really lowering their staff turnover rate.
Okay.
So that's one segment of the business, but also we help inspiring and entrepreneurs, small business owners with like strategic development and helping kind of get them started as well. So that's why I like to say we kind of multifaceted there.
For sure. So how did you get started?
How did we get started? It's
Yeah.
a long story, so I'm gonna give you the short
version. Okay.
We got plenty of battery.
I got plenty of battery power. Well, I'll start like this. So I actually have been in corporate America for well over probably 25 years. I started as a baby. I know I look very young. But for over about 25 years in corporate America, and I would do a lot of proposals and even speaking engagements for friends, families, organizations. And at one point in my career, my accountant, I'll say, said, "Hey, you're doing all this stuff. You should really create a business because you could use the tax break." I was like, "Oh, okay. Let's do that." Yeah. So that's how it originally got started. But then 5 years ago, I rebranded and got a little more serious about what I wanted to do as a consultant and help and pour into other small businesses. Because again, being in corporate America for as long as I have been, there's tons of tools and strategic planning and board retreats that big business are privy to, but
they have it in their budget.
They have it in their budgets. But a lot of small entrepreneurs, small business owners who just want to, get down and do the work. They want to be the one. They're the ones that's out here either laying concrete or painting or consulting or preparing taxes. They like to do the work, but they don't have the budgets,
or the
staff.
Yeah.
To do all of those things, or to even create a strategic plan, or to even do a SWOT analysis of their business, or maybe not even know what that is. So that kind of led me to say, you know what, I want to be able to help those individuals and pour into them some of the knowledge and training so that they can be successful, just like those big corporations.
So we've heard SWOT analysis, but a lot of people may not have.
So a SWOT analysis is...
That's not the guys that pull up in the police.
Yeah, so after SWOT pulls up in that, but no. So SWOT analysis are typically really important for the growth and a lot of times even the development of your business, whether it's a for-profit business or nonprofit. So it stands for accessing or identifying, analyzing your strengths of your organization, figuring out, what you're really good at, right? Also, the W is your weaknesses, right? Where do you need help in creating, developing, making sure things are effective within your organization or your business, right? O is the opportunities. So what opportunities may be may they be that can help you reach or achieve your goals that you're trying to strive for, right? So the T is threats, and that's extremely important as well. Now, not threats that somebody's going to get you, but the threats that may be indirectly or directly affecting your business from whatever that ultimate goal that you're thriving towards. And those threats can be internal threats. For example, for some small, or I've heard it called solopreneurs, whatever, a threat to the growth of your business may be the fact that you're doing it all alone and you don't have a succession plan to continue on with your business. Or then that's an internal threat, right? Or it could be an external threat. An external threat could very well be that I'm a consultant that does specialize in employee engagement, and there's 15 other consultants that have been doing employee engagement for much longer, and brand recognition that they have that I may not have. So that could be a threat to my organization if I don't have a unique value position or a unique service position that make me stand out or what have you. So SWOT analysis, that's it. Your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Evaluating what those are. Honestly evaluating what those are so that you can devise a plan or a strategy to effectively really respond to what you have. If it's a strength, what we want to do with that. We want to do more of what we're good at, right? So we want to capitalize on those, right? If there's an area where you're weak or have opportunities, you want to actually do something that's going to lift and prop you up and definitely take advantage of those opportunities. And those threats, you want to identify what those are, right? And devise a plan, strategy, even if it's collaboration. That's one thing that I really love to do in my realm of business. I love meeting other consultants, understanding what they do in their business, seeing where some of our services may overlap, and where some may be stronger in some areas and I may not be, and vice versa. We may be able to collaborate on projects and do things together, which actually creates what I love, win-win situations for everyone. Not only the two consultants that are collaborating, but also the client that we're servicing, because they're getting the best of both worlds.
And that's why she comes to the Pooler Business Referral Team meetings and say, everybody says reposition futures.
That's right.
Because you go more in depth on just consulting.
Exactly.
And that's why I love, can you describe your typical engagement process with clients from initial assessment to the process of repositioning their strategies?
Definitely. And let me just clarify a couple of things. So one thing that we don't do, or I don't do, I do not reposition anyone's strategy, right? So a typical walk in with D. Williams Consulting and a client is going to look like, we're going to sit down and we're going to figure out what your goals are. So because before I can help anyone, I need to know what your end goal is going to be. If it's an organization, I've had organizations that are trying to build cohesiveness amongst their team. I have some that are, again, specifically trying to, I call it stop the hemorrhaging or bleeding from losing staff every other week and things of that nature. So what I provide my clients is a unique opportunity where we sit down and I actually go through what it is that their end goal, what they want their end goal to be, right? And then we identify different tactics on how I can help get them there. Okay, so we identify how I can help get them there, and I'm always open and honest on what I feel we need. Within that sit down, I'm also gathering lots of information about their organization, their structure, what the norms are now, what the cultures are now. Because if I don't know that, I can't help them get to where they want to be. Okay. Sometimes I've helped develop surveys and suggestion boxes, different things like that. Even working now with a few on apprenticeship programs, which are very cool, and I think definitely an innovative way for businesses to make sure that they're keeping staff within their businesses. So that's kind of how that process kind of comes about of trying to figure out what it is that company or person needs to be successful, and then I work with them to do that. The other thing is, I'm again always honest. I've had some clients that really didn't need to start with me. I've had some clients that, came and they need some things turned around, and I'm looking at their businesses, very successful in what they do, but they needed some other things first. Like they needed to make sure they got their finances straight and together. And when I say that, not finances to pay me, but finances align where they may not have even had a business bank account, right? Or they may have been getting money from, their clients, and they're not balancing their books because they may not have QuickBooks or know how, to do those things. Or they wanted more of a social media strategist and marketing. So if their business needs something first more than what I can give them at that time, then I have great partners that I actually refer them out to and say, hey, I think we probably should start with XYZ first.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So my another question, what challenges do you see your clients facing in today's market?
Wow.
How many hours do we have?
I know, right? How many hours do we have? I'm going to just go with, I guess, the overarching of what I see the most, right? We all know we're in a tight labor market, right? So staffing is an issue. I just talked about companies losing staff or hemorrhaging staff, but finding good fits for their staffing has been extremely challenging, and it causes internal issues, because when you have shortage in staff, then now the staff that you do have left, they're getting burned out because they're overworked, stressed, and behind me you see my stress less sign, because I do a lot of workshops, which I've named it kind of stress less, but I've done some lots of those because you have a lot of staff, like I said, overworked, burned out, because of short staff and things of that nature. They're not feeling appreciated and things of that nature. So that's one of the biggest challenges that I am seeing within the workforce and clients that I have engaged. The other thing is as well, like sometimes middle management may get it, the need to be innovative in their hiring practices. But if your upper level, management you're not seeing eye to eye and communicating, again, that's going to cause issues, which again cause the staffing.
Well, I love your idea with the intern thing, because if you don't have an employee who's ready to do your job that you need them to do, then create that employee.
Exactly.
And that's what people down through the ages, real successful people who built big businesses
have done. You know? And we have to figure out, especially in small sectors or with small business owners and new entrepreneurs, we have to figure out a way to coin that effectively so that we can be successful, right? The other thing is I actually was the moderator or MC, I guess, at the Society of Human Resources Management Conference a couple of weeks ago, state conference in the Atlanta area. And there was a great speaker, Miss Kat Kibbles. If you guys haven't heard of her, look her up on YouTube or what have you. Awesome speaker, Miss, and she didn't pay me to say it, but Miss Kat Kibble. One unique thing.
You just haven't asked her for payment yet.
I haven't asked her for yet. But one thing she shared within her presentation that I thought was very eye-opening, really, is we as managers, those who are hiring, owners of businesses, what have you, we all have biases when it comes down to hiring, right? Even our job descriptions, there's bias in that. So looking at a different way of hiring practices, developing your job descriptions is essential, especially now because we're in that tight labor market, so that you can get the right talent. So do you really need to have that 4-year degree in order to work for, I'll just use D. Williams Consulting, in order to work for D. Williams Consulting, especially as, my administrative assistant? Do you have to have that 4-year degree, or can we look at your experience? Yeah. What experiences have you brought, to the table, or do you have, can you actually do X, Y, Z? Even looking at background checks, she talked a lot about that. We have these processes and digital systems and applications that some have that will scan through your name and check for anything on your background, if you've gotten arrested or what have you, and it'll throw you out. Well, are we throwing out some individuals because they did something as a child years ago that still shows up there, and because of that we're not hiring or interviewing that candidate for those. So looking at some of those things are going to be key, definitely now when more of our employee base want more flexibility, more hybrid working and remote work from home jobs and things of that nature. So I thought that was an extremely good point and position that she brought up, and she's doing a 100-year job study, job description study that really kind of shows even some of the words that are used in job descriptions, from assertive or aggressive, or what have you, one being a more masculine word and others being a more feminine word that we put in our job descriptions. Yeah. I thought that was very, amazing and, again, innovative, and something that we should really look into when we're in our hiring practices and reevaluate what we do.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Just a little quick question for you, Miss Donna. How do you envision the future of repositioning and consulting evolving in the coming years? And how are you preparing for it now?
How are you repositioning your future?
So one thing that I foresee and doing is always learning. Like I said, I just talked about a conference. Although I was, moderating, it was work, I was still learning. There were tons of workshops. I'm actually going to a SHRM Inclusion conference this upcoming week, what have you. So one thing I believe that's important for any leader is always learning and educating yourself on what's happening, new trends, things that's, again, upcoming or what have you, so that you're in a better position to support whatever clients that you are supporting. Mm-hmm. For D. Williams Consulting's future, I envision definitely growth for us. We again are getting more contracts because D. Williams Consulting is a DBE, which is a disadvantaged business enterprise. So we're a certified GDOT DBE, as well as locally minority women-owned business. Yeah. What that means is we're able to bid on different local, state, and federal contracts with professional development and things of that nature. So within that, definitely within the next year, I envision growth for our company and me being able to bring on a couple more SMEs in the professional development and leadership business within D. Williams, so that we are better equipped to handle the different contracts that's coming. So for example, I'll be in Athens next week doing professional development workshops and team building with a Georgia state agency with disabilities and behavioral health.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. One last question, Miss Williams. How can the people get in touch with you?
Well, they can definitely please find me on LinkedIn, not only as Donna Williams, but D. Williams Consulting. Find me on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, all D. Williams Consulting, or pick up the phone and call. 912-692-6779. Give me a call. Email D. Williams Consulting as well. It's actually DDW Consulting spelled all out, the number 2.com. So it's info@DDW Consulting spelled out number 2.com. And then website. I almost forgot that. Yeah.
So before we wrap up,
yes.
So it's October.
It is October.
So tell us about what you're involved with in October.
So D. Williams also supports a nonprofit that I actually founded called S2S Facts. Stands for, can we hold that up? Yeah, Sister to Sister Unite is the organization. It's a community enrichment organization that supports youth, senior citizens, as well as all ladies. So it's all about that bridging those gaps through diversity and empowerment, and then community engagement. Every October we do a trunk or treat event, and this year it's at St. Leo, actually on this side of town, south side, and it's a walkthrough. So participants will get to walk through and get safe treats, information, and prizes for parents, randomly prizes for parents. We have, look, this is going to be nice. You're going to miss it this year. We have cake walks going on, and guess who's donated the cakes? Nothing But Cakes. Who doesn't love a Nothing But Cake? I think I may get into the cake walk myself, okay? And then not to mention the vendors, the kids actually choose a best decorated vendor, and they get a Kids' Choice Award. So lots of activities going on this Saturday. Thank you, Bradford, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Miss Donna, for coming out. This unique guest, Donna Williams with D. Williams Consulting, where she repositions futures.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And it was
great.
And again, the Dream Builders Podcast is here to help buyers, sellers, agents, and small business reach their goals. Again, this podcast is sponsored by Page Properties Team, TheDream E.N.T, Real Estate for a Reason, and Make Real Estate Fun Again. Y'all be safe, and I'll catch you on the next episode.
Have a good one.